Welcome to the deep dive. We take that huge stack of sources, you've got articles, plot points, all of it, and we really try to pull out the most important insights for you.
Yeah, get right to the core of it.
Exactly. And this week, we're diving deep into Salem.
Oh.
Well, it's pure chaos over there right now. Lies aren't just coming out. They're actually, like, pushing people onto airplanes.
It's a real cascade effect, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
So our mission today, make sense of the pandemonium from the week of October 13th to the 17th. You've got paternity lies, corporate battles, adoption issues. It all seems to be exploding at once.
Right.
We want to give you the map, basically. Show you how one single lie can ripple out and hit, 4 different families? And maybe even flip the whole corporate power structure in town.
And that's the key thing to track, that interconnectedness. When you look at all the material, you see this fascinating pattern. The younger characters, like Holly Jonas, suddenly deciding to flee to France. It's a direct reaction, like immediate, to the older generation's schemes. Specifically, Sophia Choi's huge lie. So we're not just recapping plots here. We're really tracking how motives and consequences are slamming into each other.
Okay, let's get right into that collision then, because that really feels like the main ticking clock this week.
Yeah.
Sophia Choi's calculated deception about her baby's father. It's finally getting exposed.
Right.
And that exposure triggers this chain reaction that hits Holly Jonas just as she's trying to make her escape.
And the first domino to fall, really, is Sarah Carton. She's been watching, kind of putting the pieces together, But this week, she goes from just suspecting things to being absolutely certain.
How does that happen?
Well, the sources point to a really intense conversation she has with Brady Black.
Ah, Brady.
Yeah, and whatever they talk about, it gives her that final piece of confirmation she needs. Tate Black is definitely not the father of Sophia's baby.
Wow. Okay, so that's the moment for Sarah.
That's the moment. Her internal struggle suddenly becomes external action. She knows.
And once Sarah knows for sure, well, the gloves are off, right?
Exactly. She goes straight to Sophia, confronts her, demands the truth.
And this is where it gets really interesting for Sophia, isn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, Sarah's asking her point blank, will you finally admit Aaron Green is the father?
Yeah.
But Sophia's been running this bluff for months. Does she think she can still get away with it? What does she actually gain or lose by finally admitting it now?
Well, the calculation for Sophia is it's extreme. If she comes clean, she loses all that leverage over the Black family. Plus, she could face, legal trouble for fraud.
Right. Big trouble.
But if she keeps lying, with Sarah knowing, she risks this massive public implosion when the truth inevitably comes out anyway.
It feels inevitable at this point.
It really does. And what's crucial is Sarah isn't keeping this bombshell to herself. She's so weighed down by it, she immediately tells Kayla Brady.
Okay, so she confides in Kayla. That makes sense.
And this is where, the whole Salem investigative machinery kicks in. Because when Sarah talks to Dr. Kayla, it's not just venting. No. Kayla's husband, Steve Johnson. You know Steve. Decisive. Pragmatic.
Patch. Always gets the point.
Right. He quietly steps in and suggests the only thing left that can settle it for good.
Let me guess. Another DNA test.
Bingo. Another DNA test. And that just shifts everything, doesn't it?
Totally. It's not about emotional showdowns or whispered confessions anymore.
Nope. It becomes about cold, hard, biological fact. Something Sophia absolutely cannot argue her way out of.
It's the ultimate checkmate, like you said before.
It really is. The second Steve suggests that test, you can almost hear the timer start ticking down on Sophia's entire scheme.
Okay, so that truth bomb is ticking away. But while that's happening, Holly Jonas is making her own desperate move.
Yeah, Holly. And her motivation. It's deeply personal, and honestly, who can blame her?
Right. She's just completely worn out by all the chaos that seems to follow her around Salem.
And specifically, the sources say she's just done with Sophia Choi's manipulations. Those schemes have turned her family life upside down.
So what's the plan?
The sources call it a dramatic exit. Simple goal. Get out of Salem. Get away from the drama.
Where's she going?
Paris. To reunite with Nicole, Eric, and baby Jude.
Wow, Paris. So this isn't just a weekend trip.
No, it sounds like she sees this as permanent. A desperate escape from all the negativity in Salem. She needs that core family unit, that sanctuary.
And she needs it to be secret.
Absolutely. She makes Ariana Horton swear. Absolute secrecy about her plans.
But secrets in Salem, they don't stay secret for long, do they?
Rarely. Even as Holly's packing, Tate Black, who's been caught up in all the Sophia drama himself, finally figures out just how deep Sophia's lies go.
Finally puts it all together.
Yeah. But the timing, Ugh, it's brutal. He realizes the full truth may be just a fraction too late.
Oh, no.
So now he's got to scramble. He has to try and stop Holly before she gets on that plane and disappears.
That's heartbreaking for Tate.
It really is. The sources are pretty clear. He loves her way too much to let Holly go, so the race is on.
And what makes it even more intense?
Ariana. Despite promising Holly she'd keep quiet, she gives Tate a hint.
She does. What kind of hint?
Just a warning, really, that he might not have much time left. It seems like Ariana's kind of prioritizing Tate's feelings and maybe Holly's future happiness over a promise made under, difficult circumstances.
That little hint from Ariana, that could be everything.
It's the catalyst, right? It gives Tate that tiny, tiny window he needs to try and intervene before Holly is gone for good, leaving Salem, the drama, and him behind.
It's fascinating, though. It's like the younger generation, Tate and Ariana, are actively fighting back against the messed up patterns of the adults.
That's a great way to put it. Ariana's small act of sort of breaking that promise is directly aimed at countering Sophia's massive, calculated deception.
So the timelines are completely locked together now.
Totally fused. Tate's personal happiness literally depends on when that truth bomb about Sophia finally goes off.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Before Tate can make his heroic dash to the airport, the adults need to actually nail down Sophia's guilt.
Right.
It's the context for all this craziness. Let's talk about the Truth Collective.
Right, because the pieces are being assembled, and by a pretty unlikely team.
Who is it?
We've got Chanel Dupree, Johnny DiMera, and Brady Black all coming together, comparing notes.
Interesting alliance.
It is. They start realizing they each have different little fragments of the truth about Holly and Sophia, and it's only when they pool that information that the full picture starts to emerge.
And Brady has the key piece, doesn't he? That memory.
Yes. The linchpin. It comes from Brady. He remembers two really critical things about that dorm fire a while back.
Okay, what are they?
First, that he was the one who saved Holly. We knew that.
Right, the hero moment.
But second, and this is the memory that changes everything, he distinctly remembers seeing Sophia near the campus that same night.
Whoa. Sophia was there, the night of the fire.
That's what Brady remembers. And let's just pause on that for a second, because the implications are huge.
Yeah, tell me.
If Brady's right and Sophia was there, her actions suddenly look way worse than just lying about a baby daddy.
How so?
His memory puts her at the scene of an event that caused Holly immense trauma. It links Sophia, circumstantially at least, directly to the stuff that ultimately drove Holly to want to flee town.
Okay, that's dark.
And remember that whole dirty text thing? The anonymous messages harassing Holly?
Oh yeah, that was awful.
The source of those texts also claimed they were the baby's mother, if Sophia was near campus the night of the fire.
It connects her to that, too. It suggests she might have been orchestrating more than just a paternity lie.
Exactly. Brady's eyewitness account potentially blows her whole operation wide open. It suggests she wasn't just passively lying, she might have been actively creating chaos.
Wow. So for you, listening, this is a perfect example of how these things work in Salem, right? One single, maybe previously overlooked memory
can just dismantle this incredibly complex, layered deception. The whole thing hangs on Brady remembering who he saw lurking around that night.
Which brings us back to that tight timing.
Right. The effort by Brady, Johnny, and Chanel exposing Sophia, it has to happen almost at the exact same time as Tate's race to stop Holly.
Because they're even a few hours late confirming the truth.
Holly's on a plane, heading to France, totally unaware that Brady Black's memory was about to, stop her right in her tracks.
So the paternity investigation isn't just about the baby anymore.
Not at all. It's about validating why Holly felt so betrayed. It's about maybe, just maybe, bringing her back to Salem. And back to Tate.
Okay, that's some high-stakes personal drama. And it actually leads us nicely into our next theme.
Yeah, let's pivot from that frantic race to Paris and dive into the drama simmering among Salem's elite. We're talking corporations, legacies, legacy, love, and lingering wrath.
And the first battleground is Titan Industries. We've got a major corporate showdown heating up. Tony DiMera confronts the Kyriakis leadership.
That's Maggie Horton Kyriakis, Xander Cook, and Philip Kyriakis, all standing together against Tony.
And Tony's demands are, well, they're pretty bold.
Bold is one word for it. Audacious, maybe. He wants DiMera Enterprises back, which is huge in itself.
Right, reclaiming the family company.
And he explicitly says he wants to get his greedy hands on Titan, too.
Greedy hands on Titan. Wow. Okay, so he wants both empires.
Exactly. It's not just business. It's a power grab for control over Salem's two biggest corporate players. It says a lot about his confidence right now. Or maybe his hubris.
But he's running straight into Maggie Kyriakis.
The immovable object, yeah. Maggie is taking this very personally. She's leading the charge for the Kyriakis side.
And for her, it's about Victor's legacy, isn't it?
Absolutely. She sees it as this sacred duty almost. Protecting what Victor built, preserving it for his sons, his grandkids. It's a moral fight for Maggie, a way to honor Victor.
And that stance dictates the outcome, at least for now.
It does. The Kyriakis group basically tells Tony, look, you can have Demera Enterprises back, which, let's be honest, is a massive concession.
Huge.
But Titan, absolutely not. No way.
So that refusal, that's what sets the stage for the big corporate showdown.
That's it. It's clear this won't be settled in a boardroom. The Kyriakis family is digging in, ready for a fight, and they're using the emotional power of Victor's legacy as their shield, basically.
But there's a twist here, isn't there? A question mark hanging over Tony himself.
A massive one. The sources specifically mention Tony's behavior during all this. They flag it as increasingly erratic.
Erratic? Uh-oh. In Salem, that usually means one thing.
Exactly. It immediately brings up that classic dangerous Salem suspicion. Is this really Tony Demera?
Or could it be Andre? Back from the dead again?
Could be. And if it is Andre, well, that changes the entire game.
How so? Andre's different.
Totally different. Andre's a master manipulator, an agent of pure chaos. His goals are usually about destruction, not just profit.
So if it's Andre, this isn't just a hostile takeover attempt.
No, it's probably some twisted family plot designed to shatter the Kyriakis legacy from the inside out.
And the fact that the sources specifically call his behavior erratic.
It suggests that maybe even the Kyriakis side suspects they might be dealing with someone much more dangerous, much more unpredictable than just Tony. They might be bracing for Andre without even knowing it for sure.
Okay, that adds a whole other layer of danger. Let's shift from corporate war to family heartbreak now. The Chad Horton family implosion. This sounds rough.
It really is. Chad Demera has to deliver some incredibly painful news to Kat Green.
What is it?
The sources strongly suggest it's about his son, Thomas. It sounds like Thomas has demanded that Chad end his relationship with Kat immediately.
Oh, wow. From his own son. Why?
Well, the emotional complexity here is just staggering, especially for a kid. It seems the situation got much worse because Rachel Black, in her own manipulative way, told Thomas that Kat was impersonating his dead mother, Abigail.
Rachel told Thomas that. Oh, that's cruel.
Beyond cruel. For a little boy still grieving his mom, that revelation is just devastating trauma. Unbearable.
So his demand for Chad to dump Kat.
It's a primal reaction, isn't it? It's fear, betrayal, the horrifying idea that his dad is with someone trying to replace his mom.
God, you have to pause there. A kid putting his parent in that position, choose between your relationship and my stability. That's incredibly heavy.
It is, and it's made even heavier by Jennifer Horton's reaction.
Jennifer's not helping.
Not at all. She strongly disapproves of Chad dating Kat in the first place. And crucially, she refuses to forgive Kat for the Abigail impersonation.
Even knowing Kat was under duress.
Apparently not. Jennifer's refusal just piles more pressure onto Chad. He's getting it from his son and from his family. His emotional turmoil must be immense.
Okay, let's try and understand Jennifer's side, though. The sources do acknowledge the mitigating factor, right? That Clyde Weston was threatening Kat's mother.
They do. Logically, that should earn Kat some sympathy. But the sources say Jennifer's anger may run too deep for forgiveness.
Why do you think that is? What's driving Jennifer here?
Well, think about Jennifer's history, the loss she's endured. Jack dying multiple times, Abigail being murdered.
Yeah, unbearable loss.
So, seeing someone impersonate her dead daughter-in-law, for Jennifer, that might feel like the ultimate violation, the ultimate disrespect to Abigail's memory. It's not just a lie, it's like an attack on the sanctity of her daughter's life.
Okay, I can see how she'd feel that way. It's incredibly personal.
But thankfully, there's a counter voice. A voice of reason, maybe.
Who's that?
Julie Williams. You know Julie, she's seen it all in Salem over the decades.
Decades and decades, yeah.
And she urges Jennifer to show some grace, some compassion. She's basically arguing that for the family to heal, to survive, they need empathy, especially when there are outside factors like Clyde's threats involved.
So Julie's pushing for forgiveness.
Or at least understanding. Her plea is really important this week. It sets up that conflict, the need for grace versus that powerful instinct for moral condemnation. Julie's trying to be the voice of reason in a family just drowning in heartbreak.
That makes sense. And speaking of Jennifer and family history, amidst all this turmoil, there's actually a moment of celebration.
There is, a really significant one. It's Melissa Reeves' 40th anniversary playing Jennifer Horton.
40 years. Wow. That's incredible.
It really is. And the sources mention a heartwarming tribute scene. Julie Williams and Jack Devereaux join Jennifer, and they look back at her whole journey in Salem.
That must be quite a journey.
Oh, definitely. And this is a great spot for a little history lesson for listeners who love those details.
Yeah, tell us.
The sources point out that the character Jennifer actually started off young, then was off-screen for a while.
Okay.
And then Melissa Reeves came in, and Jennifer returned as the troubled teen Jen. And how did they make that age jump work?
Let me guess. The magic of Sora.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Soap opera, rapid aging, classic soup technique.
Can you explain Sora just quickly? Because it's such a wild soap opera thing.
Sure. Sora is basically when they rapidly speed up a child character's age. They go from kid to teenager or young adult almost overnight.
Why they do that?
It lets them throw the character into more grown-up storylines faster. Romance, conflict, all the juicy drama.
So Jennifer's a prime example.
A classic case. She suddenly aged up, Melissa Reeves took over, and boom, she was right into complex plots like that troubled teen phase. That's what really cemented her as, like, the emotional heart of the show for so long.
And knowing that history, that she was sort of born into drama via Sorara.
It gives you context for her intensity now, right? 40 years later. That history of dealing with constant turmoil has maybe shaped her views on right and wrong, on integrity, made them pretty rigid.
That's a really insightful connection.
Yeah.
Okay, great context. Let's move from family legacies and anniversaries now into custody, cops, and critical thinking. It sounds like the deceit is spreading into the legal and police world of Salem.
It is. We start with the Tesoro adoption drama. This has really reached a crisis point. Javi Hernandez and Leo Stark are seriously worried they're going to lose custody of their foster son, Tesoro.
They're fighting to keep him.
Desperately. But their chances are being hurt by, you guessed it, more deception.
Who's causing the trouble this time?
Well, Chanel and Johnny DeMera are involved. They've accused Javi and Leo of falsifying adoption documents.
Okay, so Chanel and Johnny think Javi and Leo are cheating.
That's the accusation. But the real problem, the root cause, seems to be the same kind of manipulation we saw used against Holly.
You're kidding? More fake messages.
Looks like it. The custody issue apparently stems from fake sketchy text and a letter sent to the social worker.
And what did those messages do?
They were designed specifically to sabotage Chanel and Johnny, to get them disapproved, maybe even blacklisted, from adopting Tesoro.
Wow. So someone's actively trying to block Chanel and Johnny.
Exactly. And the irony for Javi and Leo is, well, it's complicated. They're being accused of fraud themselves.
Right.
But they might also be secretly hoping that Chanel and Johnny getting knocked out of the running, even if it's through dirty tricks, actually gives them a better shot at keeping Tesoro.
So their goal is just keeping the kid no matter how it happens.
It kind of looks that way. Their focus seems to be on retaining custody, potentially benefiting from sabotage they didn't even commit.
And who's trying to sort all this out?
Rafe Hernandez. He's become the crucial link in Salem's web of lies here.
How so?
Well, he's helping Johnny and Chanel try to figure out what happened, but his involvement could go deeper. He's in a perfect position to maybe find clues about Tesoro's birth mother.
Okay.
And more importantly for our bigger picture, he might be the one who connects the dots between all these suspicious messages.
You mean connect the adoption sabotage texts to the ones Holly got?
Exactly. Think about it. A good detective like Rafe sees patterns. If the same type of fake sketchy text and anonymous letters were used in both the Tesoro case and the Holly harassment...
He realizes it's not just random incidents.
Right. He starts seeing it as maybe an orchestrated campaign of deception hitting multiple families. He's looking at a pattern of fraud, not just isolated cases.
That kind of critical thinking from Rafe could be key to stabilizing things.
Absolutely. But speaking of the police force, it seems like they're under strain too, particularly J.J. Devereaux.
JJ, what's going on with him?
He's really struggling, carrying a lot of guilt and stress from all the recent chaos in Salem.
You mean the blackout, the curfew, the looting?
Yeah, all of that. He feels responsible somehow for the decisions made, for how things went down. The sources say it's pushed him to a breaking point.
How bad is it?
Bad enough that he talks to Jada Hunter about it and actually comes close to resigning, turning in his badge.
Wow, JJ quitting the force. That's huge.
It would be. But Jada steps in. Her intervention is really strategic, but also compassionate.
What does she do?
She refuses to accept his resignation. Her view is, look, you were just following protocol and the law during an impossible situation. The guilt isn't justified.
So she talks him down.
She does. But her solution is interesting. She urges him to take time off instead. Get some distance, focus on his mental health.
That sounds smart, but potentially risky.
That's the thing. It's smart professionally, but it creates this vacuum personally, that distance, that time off. The sources suggest it could push JJ towards a confrontation he needs to have, maybe with Theo Carver.
Adding more family tension.
Exactly. Jada solves one problem, but might inadvertently create another more personal one down the line.
Meanwhile, Rafe's plate is still full, right? He's investigating more than just the adoption.
Oh, yeah. He's still digging into Jeremy Horton's past.
Jeremy, he's still under suspicion then.
Big time. And Rafe's not alone on this. There's a whole group keeping a very watchful eye on Jeremy.
Oh.
Stephanie Johnson, Alex Kyriakis, Steve Johnson, Caleb Brady. Basically, a coalition of concerned citizens.
That's quite the surveillance team. What are they looking for?
They're wrestling with that fundamental Salem question, really. Is Jeremy Horton truly a changed man?
Yeah.
Or has he just gotten better at hiding how awful he really is, better at camouflaging it?
Given Salem's track record with reformed villains.
The suspicion is completely rational, right? They are operating on the idea that past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior, especially with someone like Jeremy.
And Rafe's job is to find the proof.
To apply evidence to that philosophical question, is the Reformation real or is it just more camouflage? Which loops us right back to the week's big theme. Deception everywhere.
Okay, let's move into our last main segment before we wrap things up. Confessions, connections, and risks. And Kat Green is right back in the thick of it, taking some big chances.
A very risky mission, according to the sources. Kat is caught sneaking into a restricted construction zone at the hospital.
Sneaking into a restricted area. Why? What's she doing?
This seems like a major escalation of her involvement with Rafe, actually. She's crossing lines, both physical and ethical.
Is it connected to Gwen?
Very likely. Her motivation seems tied directly to her secret cooperation with Rafe. She's probably trying to get eyes on that metal security door Gwen mentioned to her.
The door Kat then told Rafe about.
Exactly. So now Kat's acting like an undercover operative, basically. An unauthorized investigator trying to confirm evidence for Rafe.
But the risk, getting caught there.
The risk is huge, immediate, severe. She could easily be caught by Gwen herself.
Oh, that would be bad. After they've been getting closer.
Devastatingly bad. Gwen would feel completely betrayed. Or Kat could be caught by E.J. DeMera.
And E.J. would have a field day with that.
Absolutely. He'd use it to destroy her reputation, probably try to link it back to Chad. It's incredibly dangerous.
So this action, sneaking around, it puts her new friendship with Gwen in serious jeopardy.
Fundamentally threatens it. They've been bonding, finding common ground. But Kat going behind her back, working with the police. That shatters the trust they were building.
If Gwen finds out.
It just reinforces that painful pattern we see so often in Salem, doesn't it? People connect over shared struggles only for hidden agendas to blow it all up.
And for Gwen especially, with her history, like with Leo Stark.
Finding out Kat betrayed her trust, it would just confirm her worst fears about people, about connection. Kat is gambling heavily with that alliance, all for the investigation.
Okay. Shifting slightly, on a more positive note, we do have some constructive things happening. Counseling and corporate leadership.
Yeah, a couple of hopeful signs. Xander Cook and Sarah Horton are actually starting couples therapy soon.
Good for them, after everything they've been through.
Absolutely. A really mature, necessary step. Recognizing they need professional help to process the shared trauma.
And on the corporate side.
Maggie is successfully holding the line. Leading the Kyriakis defense against Tony's, or maybe Andre's, scheme, she's actually managed to unite the DeMeras who don't trust Tony alongside the Kyriakis family, creating a unified front against him.
So alliances are definitely shifting.
Rapidly. All these things happening at once, Xander and Sarah in therapy, Rafe digging up truths, the corporate war, Kat's risky moves. It's forcing everyone to recalculate. Shifting Salem alliances is the perfect description.
Who do you trust? Who do you fight with?
Exactly. The illusion of stability, which was probably built on secrets and lies anyway, is just shattering. As the truth about Sophia breaks, as Rafe potentially uncovers this pattern of fraud, every character has to figure out, fast, who's really on their side. The whole landscape is changing, irrevocably.
Okay, wow. We have covered a lot of ground, so much chaos, so many connections. Let's try and boil it down for you, the listener. What are the key takeaways from this incredibly intense week?
I think we can point to 3 major ticking clocks that really drove the action.
What are they?
First, you had that personal clock. Holly's desperate flight to Paris, driven by just being sick of all the lies.
Okay, clock number 1.
Second, the familial clock. Sophia's paternity lie. Her whole house of cards was about to collapse thanks to that impending DNA test. Public exposure was imminent.
Clock number 2. Got it.
And third, the corporate clock. That Titan versus Demira deadline. Maggie drawing a line in the sand against Tony's demands, setting up that confrontation.
Personal, familial, corporate. 3 clocks ticking down.
Exactly. And the central lesson, the thing that ties it all together, is just how deeply interconnected all the lies are in Salem. It's almost mathematical.
Explain that connection again. How does it all link up?
Well, Holly's decision to run away, it's a direct result of Sophia's paternity lie and all the chaos that lie unleashed.
Right.
And how is that paternity lie finally definitively exposed? Not through some elaborate investigation, but because Brady randomly remembers seeing Sophia near the dorm fire, a fire he was rescuing Holly from months earlier.
Wow. When you put it like that.
It's the perfect illustration, right? No lie exists on its own. Sophia's specific lie about the baby's father led her to orchestrate other chaos, which caused trauma for Holly, which made Holly want to flee, which set off Tate's race against time. Every single outcome traces back to that first core deception.
It's like pulling one thread unravels the entire tapestry.
Precisely. Which brings us back to one of the most interesting emotional conflicts simmering this week. And it leads into our final provocative thought for you to chew on until our next deep dive.
Okay, what is it?
We spent a good bit of time talking about Jennifer Horton, her fierce, unrelenting anger towards Cat Green.
Yeah, her refusal to forgive Kat for impersonating Abigail,
Yeah.
even knowing Clyde threatened her, even with Jolie pleading for grace.
Right, and this is where we need to think critically. Given Salem's long, complicated history with forgiveness, I mean, think about characters like Jack Devereaux, who've been redeemed from far worse things.
Sure.
And people like Jeremy Horton, who everyone still suspects might just be faking his reformation. We have to ask, is Jennifer's absolute refusal to forgive Kat right now, is it a necessary stand for moral integrity? Is she the one holding the line against all the deception constantly swirling around her family?
That's one way to look at it. What's the other side?
The other side is, could that intense, unbending anger, her flat-out refusal to grant any grace, could that actually become a new source of drama, something entirely separate from Kat's original lie?
You mean, could Jennifer's reaction cause more damage than the initial problem?
Exactly. Is her rigid moral stance in this specific situation actually causing more pain, more destruction within the Horton family than Kat's actions themselves did?
Is she protecting a memory or destroying a future?
That's the core of it. That tension, the need for integrity versus the need for grace, it's something to really think about, because that conflict,
Yeah.
Jennifer's rage, it might just be the next big ticking bomb in Salem.
Definitely something to ponder. We'll have to see how that plays out. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Always a pleasure. We'll be eager to see what your next stack of sources reveals. Farewell for now.